Hi, everybody. I'm Moonraven. So, I'm going to briefly describe what the mechanics and the science behind how magic works is from my perspective, and I'm going to be reading from my notes, so just bear with me. Also, too, if you're not interested in the actuality and the science behind it all, you just want to stay with the allure of the mystery and the awe of it all, then definitely skip this video. Okay, so there are 100 million different perspectives in the entire world on this topic and how to explain it, most of which are worthy of respect, however. So don't feel that if you practice traditional witchcraft or worship pagan gods or even worshiping the Christian God, that I am trying to cut down your beliefs. I am not trying to do that at all. This is just from my personal experience and how I come to understand it. But to me, in my practice, magic is just a word. Words do have power, but again, just bear with me, okay? It's just a word to me. It's so funny how the entire world literally puts an emphasis on the word magic by imbuing it with an all encompassing, boat rocking power. But it's just a word, you know? So if I don't believe in the actual word of itself, magic, then how can I call myself a witch? Why do I even practice spells, let alone light candles and do visualizations and make plans on the new moon to help manifest my desires? Because even though I don't think lighting a pink candle rubbed with rose oil on a Friday will make romance suddenly appear in my life, I do think that those actions help us to focus on attracting that romance into our lives. A lover isn't drawn to us all of a sudden by just roses and candles alone. He or she is drawn by the will and the intention that you, as the practitioner doing the spell, put out into the world, and those actions that you take into manifesting that intention. So, when I carry a citrine crystal, for example, knowing that with it, it's going to help project a successful day. But each time I'm not going to go about my day and think that, oh, wow, just putting this crystal in my pocket, I'm going to be successful no matter what. No, that's not how it works for me, from my perspective. I don't believe that it's going to make every project that I do be successful, but I do believe that each time I put my hand into my pocket and I touch that stone, that I am reminded of my will and of my wish that projects that I will be doing will be successful, and of those actions and attitudes that I have to take to help me get there will be more successfully more will be more successful in the focus I have to achieve it. So, the other major part of my practice that I think is somewhat less revolutionary is mindfulness. By following the cycles of the moon and of the seasons, we become more attuned with our bodies, with our wants and our needs, and with the world around us. I am by nature a distracted person. I get caught up in one thing and then I just abandon everything else. Following the moon and the seasons brings me back to myself. It makes me pay attention and not lose sight of where I am and what I am doing with my time. Even if I get sidetracked or lose myself in the process, it just means that I have to focus again on nature itself to help bring me and ground me back to center. I light a candle and I look up at the moon through the blinds of my window, and I just embrace that moment, knowing that I'm communing and attuning to that of the cycles of nature and embracing a very ancient practice known as drawing down the moon. These two key thoughts, that magic is what we make of it, and that paying attention is the single most magical act. These are pretty much the sum total of my practice and the belief of magic. Now, there are other mechanics and there are other explanations. Like I said earlier, there are hundreds and millions different ones. But I think that as every practitioner gets further on in their practice and they leave the whole I have to follow this exact spell book to the T just to make sure that I can do a spell, or I need to make sure I memorize this spell and that spell just to make sure that I have all these spells down so that in case something happens, I can just be ready. No. As you grow further into your craft, you realize like those are all just the books are nice, the spell books are great. It's awesome to see how these spells were created and why they were created and how they worked for that particular author who created that book. But they don't work for everyone. And that's where a lot of the the disbelief in witchcraft, or a lot of the fantasizing or disillusionment that people have come to gather to this modern day, have come to assume that witchcraft is, they look at it with either two different perspectives. They look at it as a delusional fantasy, wishy-washy thing, or they go further and say it's satanic, or it's Satan worshiping, or you're messing with the devil, you're confused, we got to save your soul, type of thing. And I say it like that just because it's very, very annoying as a pagan hearing that constantly over and over. I mean, at least we're not being burned at the stake, thank the goddess, but still, it's like, come on, people. Live in the now and open up your minds a little bit, because there's a little bit more than just what you think to be your own reality that is actually the case of the matter. Like, let me live my life, you live your own, okay? We all have a different way of getting to the higher power known as our creator. Not everyone is going to follow that one particular bridge. It takes a whole different set of spiritual beliefs that attune to every individual on this earth, until they can actually fully accept who they want to be, what they believe in, and instead of following the everyday person or the average norm that they have to consider, they have to rethink it. And everyone goes through that spiritual awakening, I think. I mean, I did. And I think everyone else will too, eventually, if you're not already fully aware of the fact that this religion based world is just that. It's just a man created thing. I mean, I believe in a higher power. I believe in a god and a goddess being both the same, but not to understand it better, for us humans to understand it, we had to separate the one power, or the source power, to a male and a female figure, so we can understand it in our mindsets as a human being, which I get and I can connect with, and I get that. But at the same time, we have to remember too that our main creator is, we are the essence of it. The earth is, the sun is, the stars, everything that we see, everything that's in this physical world is a remnant, and it resonates with the source of creation, because we came from it. We all have that spark in us. That's why when we do magic, we can go ahead and connect to a particular herb for a certain intention that we want, because that has a spark. It has scientific proof, and it's been proven that everything has an aura magnetic field that radiates from it that we can't see with our naked eye. Some people have the gift of that sight to see the aura, but most people don't. So, but thank goodness that science has actually been proven, it has proof for it, because now who's delusional? But anywho, still till this day we have closed-minded people. I think we're always going to have a little bit of that, but that's because, they're underdeveloped in their, I guess, their evolutionary soul contract, or evolutionary concept of their reality, because they can't see anything past what they think to be normal, or what they think is okay, and they can't get out of their security blanket box to grow. They want to stay stagnant and stuck in whatever society wants to keep them stuck in, because that's kind of what happens when your soul can't evolve, is because you're stuck because of some force outside of ourselves want to keep us a certain way. That's a whole other issue, and that's not even Wicca or witchcraft, but that's just like that's a whole theory based set that people have come to believe. But I'm always open minded to anything, but not that the world is flat, because people that still believe in that, I mean, I feel really sorry for you, because I mean, even the proof itself is right there and they still don't even believe it. It's crazy. It is real crazy. I mean, if you need to, go ahead, go take a nice trip to the moon when that happens. Like, I think that they're still working on that, but yeah, when that process happens, I can't wait till all the flat earth believers actually go on board. And what do they got to say about that? I mean, it's crazy. Anyways, okay, so that's my take on magic. All right, and I want to know what yours is. Whether it seems far fetched or not, whatever it is that you believe in, please feel free to go ahead and comment below, because I'm so interested in hearing your guys' perspectives as well.